So Chris, you've been with Body Heal how long?
This July will be 3 years.
3 years. That's awesome. We're glad to have you on the team.
Happy to be here.
So I have a couple of questions for you, just kind of about your experience with the therapeutic value of bodywork, how it differs from massage and bodywork, and just a few things about your style. Okay? So I'm just going to ask a few questions of you.
Perfect.
First question is, what do you wish more people understood about their pain and where it's actually coming from?
It's a great question. What I wish most people understood about their pain and where it's coming from is that we overcomplicate it. Oftentimes we overcomplicate it because we only allow it to live in parts of our body, and we don't understand how much pain is rooted in perception. A lot of what we experience in pain is the story that we apply to what our body's trying to communicate to us. Often it's a sensation. My understanding of it is a sensation that the body is using to communicate in the way that it only can, because it doesn't have words like we get to have. And so that also begs the importance of having a clear mind-body connection to really understand if what you're feeling is pain or something else.
That's really great. And it leads me to the next question, which is, can you explain what the mind-body connection means to you and how it shows up in your sessions?
To me, the mind-body connection means having a fluid understanding of not only what is happening in your mind, but what also is happening in your body. Oftentimes, these can be very, very different things. Perception is very, very powerful, as is our body. And needing to create a form of communication that honors both the mind and the body is important. It also is a gift, and I would even surmise that it's our birthright. It's a necessity.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
There was a part 2 to that.
How does it show up in your sessions?
Yeah, this question is interesting because when I came to school for clinical bodywork therapy, I wasn't anticipating doing anything with the mind. I was focused on the body, and quickly, even in clinic before graduating, there was lots of things that were showing up with clients in the mind and how they perceive things. And especially with my deep tissue clients, often when we have a capacity for deep pressure or a higher pain tolerance, we assume that we need that. And when the body actually needs less, I'm learning that less is more. I started this practice with a lot more force. And I'm learning that because of other systems in the body, like the nervous system, there's a beautiful collaboration between all three. And what people hold on to physically is often tied to what they hold on to mentally.
That's a great answer. I really like your version of how the mind body shows up, and it does. It's to me, it's interesting that we come in as clients or as therapists thinking that no pain, no gain is our motto, but it's actually finding that balance of discomfort versus pain. Really like that thought process. It's great. So you yourself have been through some pretty good car accidents, a lot of chronic pain that you've dealt with in your life. How does that impact the way you support your clients now?
The work has to work on me. This is something I learned, in some cases the hard way when I first started. The necessity of the work having to work on me first, and bringing my experiences to my sessions in a way that does not create a barrier for the clients and focusing on them and their needs, but it allows me to empathize, to understand, and to see them in a way that they don't know they may need to be seen or even understood in that way, but how their bodies really need that understanding. I come from a culture where we are used to grin and bearing it, and that's even celebrated. You know,
For
just
sure.
move through it, grin and bear it, keep going, and it's very masculine. So when it comes to my experiences of multiple car accidents, but also my previous world of being an event planner, being on your feet, going constantly, lifting lots of things, what I learned is that stillness and slowing down for the body is magic, especially in our human doing culture that we have here in the States. And so being able to create moments where we get to just be, and in that being we are still, there is lots of communication that is happening within the body, in layers, whether it is from as deep as the organs go or as surface as the skin. It all vibrates and communicates.
I think also going through the chronic issues and blunt force traumas of car accidents, you also get an opportunity to empathize with where your clients are, which is a big piece of the healing process, right?
Oh yeah, especially the nervous system. What happens to the nervous system in a car accident? And so many times when we do personal injury cases and we have clients here, that's a lot of what is not being addressed. We instantly go to the physical because of our perceptions around pain or because it limits our doing. And we often aren't having conversations around the nervous system and how sensitive that can be, and we wear that in our everyday life without realizing the impact of it.
That's very good. Love that. Okay, next question. What makes your style of bodywork different from a typical massage?
I would have to say it's a blend of my intuition, my empathy, and my unattached desire to help people. In its simplest form, like, I'm a goober for love, and I just want people to feel good. I'm a goober for empowerment, self-empowerment, and I am practicing more and more getting out of my own way and allowing the body to guide me and my intuition to guide me into what is really needed in that moment. And sometimes it directly addresses what the client came for, and other times it does more than that, to my surprise, and often my delight.
So it's very unique to the person.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, makes sense.
Inch up towards me a little bit more.
All right, so you can go ahead and start, and I'll just ask the question. Hey, what's something that you can recommend to somebody today to help them start the healing process?
Something that is available to all of us that we often don't have to think about, but we get to think about, is our breath. I use breath work in every single session because relaxation is the key, is the gateway to the client being able to receive as much of the work as possible. It's my way of honoring the investment for the client.
Yeah.
And so breath work is something they can do right now, in this moment, if they put one hand on their belly and one hand on their chest, with the intention of the hand on their belly growing more than the hand on their chest. As they inhale, pushing their belly out like a balloon for at least 4 seconds, holding at the top for 7 seconds, and then slowly exhaling, slower than you inhaled, for 8 seconds.
8 seconds. So it's 7 in, 7 out, more in the belly, less in the chest.
I like that. 7 in, 7 out, more in the belly, less in the chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to do breath work. You can do box breathing, which is 4, 4, 4. You can do the 4, 7, 8 count. Play with your breath. There's so much, because we don't have to think about breath. When we do set an intention around breath, we can have some powerful experiences. And it's one way that you can communicate to your nervous system and to calm it, no matter what you're experiencing.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So let's see. Last question. All right. So should we do a different shot or should we stay here?
Stay here, because there's one thing that I want to do on you that
Okay.
all my clients love when I do this.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So I have one last question for you, Chris. What, for people that have tried a lot of things and they're still suffering from chronic pain in some way or discomfort in some way, what makes what Body Heal and what Chris does different than what they've experienced in the, let's say, the Western model of medical care?
I love this question. For me, it is the intake process. In Body Heal, what I do and all of our therapists do is they want to target the root causes of the pain. And so our intake is very, very important. And we ask a series of questions and we invite a series of movements based on the specific needs of the client to ensure that we are honoring their experience and getting at the root cause. And there are many, many, many different things that we can provide that help that within touch therapy and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Well, whoever's out there needs to experience this. Just happened to be on my head. That was amazing. I lost all track of that question.
It's one of my favorite things. Some of
That
my
was great.
clients call it the chef kiss.
Chef kiss.
But
I like
you know,
it.
my intention when I do that is we're connecting with the vagus nerve and the pineal gland and creating so much soothing. Even if you're around babies, right, and you just take the gentle on babies, even just doing this is very, very, very soothing. But when we, from a therapeutic perspective, we place the palms at the eyebrows and we apply a little bit of pressure and slowly start to glide down, it creates an instant sensation of relaxation and surrender in the body. And it's at this place where the work really, really, really begins. No matter if you like deep tissue, if you are hypersensitive to touch, if you want to receive impactful work, you have to work with the body. And when you work with the body at a relaxed state, you are going to get more bang for your buck.
So that's your gate opener.
This,
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of like, let's see what's beyond the gate. Okay, great.
This is one way. Sometimes I'll start at the feet just to create some relaxation. Jostling, being able to do a slight little rocking. This is why babies love to be rocked, because it soothes the nervous system. It's just a way to introduce touch and to calm, because this is our first time working together. So I would even add to that, building trust. For me, building trust as quickly as possible with all the tools that I get to have in my life now is super important. So I do my absolute best to build trust with my clients as quick as possible, even before they get on the table, because that is going to be a pillar for receiving great work.
I love it. Okay, I think we're good.
Great questions.
Yeah,
I love
right?
those questions. It's really, really cool to see that come out, like